New York Governor Andrew Cuomo remaining defiant, claiming he never touched anyone inappropriately or made inappropriate sexual advances after the Attorney General's investigation found he sexually harassed multiple women. Now there are growing calls for Cuomo to resign from both sides of the aisle. ABC News senior investigative reporter Aaron Katersky joins us live now for more on this. Aaron, I know you were in the room during the Attorney General's announcement this morning. What are some of the key findings here?
I think over 168 pages, Diane, the Attorney General's investigators allege a pattern of conduct, of inappropriate touching, of unwanted and suggestive comments over a period of months and years involving 11 separate women that the Attorney General's office said he sexually harassed. And while Cuomo denied it, the the Attorney General's office, I should say, put out two new pieces of information that we hadn't seen before. One is an allegation against the governor involving a woman who works for an energy company, and another is someone on the governor's own protective detail, a New York State trooper who was apparently hesitant to come forward, but the investigators sought her out, and she has now alleged that the governor arranged to have her on his security detail and touched her inappropriately. The governor has broadly denied all of this and rejected the investigation as political or biased or something that weaponized ordinary interactions. And in a rather dramatic statement, there were images of the governor kissing and hugging different luminaries of political society as he tried to show that these are ordinary gestures that he undertakes with everybody.
Now, the governor, as you mentioned, Aaron, he's denying any wrongdoing here. He went through some of those top accusations. As you mentioned, he had that photo montage to show, I grab everybody's face. I kiss lots of people. It's not a sexual thing. But he took some extra time when talking about one of his accusers who had revealed to the governor that she was a sexual assault survivor.
This is Charlotte Bennett, who was one of the first women to come forward against Governor Andrew Cuomo. He apparently had known that she was a sexual assault survivor, and he said that he had experience in his own family with a relative who had gone through it in high school, and he said he thought he could help her through it and wanted to make sure that she could get through it and was processing what had happened to her. Charlotte Bennett certainly took the governor's advances a little bit differently, and that laid out in the report, as she was the subject, according to investigators, of inappropriate comments and inappropriate touches that the governor said she must have taken the wrong way. She made inferences that he didn't mean, and she reached conclusions that he certainly did not intend.
And Aaron, Governor Cuomo actually defended himself, as Diane was mentioning, by, kissing people all the time. It's part of his culture. It's what he does. But also, Letitia James says that this was a civil investigation, and it's now up to prosecutors to decide whether to file criminal charges. So what happens next?
That's right, Kira. The Attorney General herself is not empowered to bring any criminal charges that she might have thought were appropriate. This was just a report to lay out what she found involving 11 women, 9 of whom are current or former state employees. But she did say, although there does not appear to be any criminal exposure for the governor, it is now up to any local prosecutor's office to take a look. And as soon as the Attorney General had finished her presentation, the district attorney in Albany County by the state capitol said that he wanted the investigative materials so his investigators could take a look. We're not sure whether any other prosecutor's office in the state will follow suit. But the Attorney General's office confirmed to me just a moment ago that they did send all of the investigative materials up to Albany now so that prosecutors can take a look and decide for themselves whether the governor should face any criminal charges.
And in the meantime, Aaron, lawmakers are calling on Governor Cuomo to resign, including members of his own party. Here is Democratic Senator Kristen Gillibrand earlier today. Let's listen.
As I've said before, these allegations are deeply disturbing. And I'm just reading the report now, and the factual evidence, along with the fact that these facts have been corroborated, the fact that there are 11 women coming forward is deeply, deeply disturbing. As I've said already, I think these actions are inappropriate for the governor of New York State, and I do believe he should resign.
Now, it's not the first time he's faced calls for his resignation. A lot of people were calling for that when these accusations first started to surface. So is there any chance that the governor steps down now that this investigation is over?
Based on his presentation today, it sure doesn't look like it, Diane. He seemed to be defiant amid all of these calls swirling not only here in New York, but in Washington for his resignation. I should say there probably is nothing less impactful in state politics than some senator in Washington making that kind of call. I'm not sure that's going to move Andrew Cuomo. But what might are a cadre of loyalists that have been around him for a long time. They did not know that this was coming today, but very quickly, once it became apparent that there was this 168-page report that was certainly not a good look for the governor, a number of them, we're told, have started to suggest that he might want to start thinking about a way to resign. We're not sure that's going to be Andrew Cuomo's style. He does seem to be daring the state legislature to initiate impeachment proceedings. We just saw a tweet from his own lieutenant governor who said that as the next in line, it wouldn't really be appropriate for her to make a formal comment, but it's as close as she came in her tweet to suggesting that this behavior is not fit for a governor of the state of New York.
And Aaron, finally, you mentioned it's really not in the governor's character to resign. Meanwhile, the state assembly speaker, Carl Hastie, has announced that he's authorized the assembly's Judiciary Committee to open an impeachment probe into Governor Cuomo. So how would that work?
Well, this is the ballgame in state politics. Unlike a federal probe, Kira, where an impeached president can remain in office, we've seen that recently. Here, an impeached governor is temporarily removed, and it's much more difficult to come back from. So I think the governor must know that impeachment proceedings would be game, set, match in Albany. And I think the Assembly Speaker, who controls these proceedings, is an ally of the governor, but issued a statement today that was indicative that he's not going to stand in the way of these proceedings. Governor Cuomo has very few, if any, allies left, especially after this 168-page report lays out all of these accusations. And even though there is no criminal exposure, politically, it's very, very difficult for the governor right now.
All right. Our senior investigative reporter, Aaron Katersky. Aaron, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.